Hey everyone, welcome to the Jolly Roger. My name's Chef Brian, and today we're going to be making a chicken stock. I have my bones that we've vacuum sealed and froze, and we thawed. I have carrots, celery, and I have an onion. This is what's called a mirepoix. What we do is we have 50%, I eyeball it, you don't have to weigh it out or anything, but you want 50% onion, you want 25% celery, and 25% carrots. I have a red onion here. I'm just gonna throw it in. Typically we use white onions for chicken stock, but this is leftover and we're not gonna use it, so it's just gonna go into stock. Otherwise, we also have leftover Brussels sprouts we're gonna toss in, and I have some bell peppers that we had a vegetable tray that we didn't eat. So those are gonna go into our chicken stock. It's gonna add a little bit of sweetness and a little bit different variety of flavor. You're welcome to add any vegetables that you have in your refrigerator to this, green beans, broccoli, etc. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get everything cut up. I'll bring you back when I finish the mirepoix, and then we're going to put everything on a tray, coat it with a little bit of oil, and I have an oven set at 450 degrees. We're gonna roast this because we're doing what's called a brown stock today. You don't have to do a brown stock, you can do a white stock. If you do a white stock, that just means you don't roast. You just put everything raw into your stock pot and go from there. So I'm gonna get everything cut up, bring you back, and we'll discuss everything when the time comes. All right, everybody, I got everything cut up. I mean, what I just did a rough chop. It's like, got onion and the carrots, I just cut in half. You don't have to do any special cutting for this at all. It's just a stock. I have some avocado oil that I'm gonna go ahead and sprinkle over. And we're gonna roast these 2 separate times, and then we'll combine them in our stock pot. And we're just gonna lightly coat these just to prevent from sticking, all that good jazz, get it evenly coated. And when I put these in, what I'm looking for is just to get a good char. It brings out flavor, and it will bring out the color that we're looking for since we're doing a brown stock. And over here, I have my chicken bones. We got those out. I'm gonna add some avocado oil to those. And they don't need a lot. There's some fat on these. It's just to get them pre-coated. And then we're gonna go ahead and throw those. I'm gonna do the vegetables first, and then we'll do the bones second. And then I'll bring you back so you can see the color on that. All right, everybody, while we're waiting on the vegetables, I'm gonna go ahead and make what's called a sachet. We have some fresh herbs that we got from that roasted chicken video that I did. We have those left over, and I have some whole peppercorns and some bay leaves. And we're just gonna throw all these fresh herbs in the middle of our cheesecloth. And I'm gonna take about a tablespoon of peppercorns. Just eyeball it. And we're gonna put those in. And I'm gonna do about 4 bay leaves. This sachet is just to make it a little bit easier when we go to strain our sauce. We're gonna strain it through a strainer, but these items can, if you don't have a fine enough strainer, can slip through and get into your stock. And we don't want that to happen. So I'm just gonna go ahead and wrap it. We're gonna go over and then come over top. And then we're gonna get it nice and tight. And then I have some butcher's twine that we're just gonna go ahead and tie a knot. And this will prevent our peppercorns from falling out and getting all over the place. If you don't have this, you don't have to use it. So don't think you have to go to the store and get it. It's just, this is gonna add a little bit extra flavor to our stock and our final product. And there you have it. So when we get our stock pot, we're just gonna toss this in when our vegetables and our chicken are done. I'll see you in a minute when that happens. Oh, we're live?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you go 20 minutes, yes.
That's what editing's for. All right, everybody, I got everything roasted, came out of the oven. I got you overhead. I wanted you to see the color that we got on our vegetables. Some of them are pretty charred. That's gonna add color, and that's what's gonna bring out this brown stock. My stock pot is right here. what we're doing is we're going to put everything in, and then we're going to add cold water. And you want to add cold water because that allows the impurities in the bones to come out at an evenly temperature and then rise to the top, because we're going to skim our impurities out. If you leave those impurities in, it's going to make your stock cloudy. So what we're going to do, I'm going to start with the chicken bones, and then all the jus or juice that came out of the bones, you're going to want to keep that. So I have some tongs here. We're just going to pour everything in. And all these little bits I can go into. Set this off to the side. Get my vegetables. And I want you to make sure you're checking your vegetables, even on the broiler setting. Instead of having it at 450, you could do that as well. It would make it quicker. So just use that as an option. My broiler isn't working at the moment, so I just used a high temp on my oven. And for the onions, you can leave the skin on. You don't have to peel them. I left even the root on, so it doesn't have to be perfect. And then we'll speed up this process. That's for me. Okay. All right, now we're going to add our sachet. That goes in. I have some water that's cold that we're gonna add. Perfect. And then I'm gonna put this on the stove behind me. I'm gonna start it on high, and we're gonna bring it to a boil. As soon as it comes to a boil, we're gonna lower it to a simmer. And you're gonna leave it uncovered. And this process is gonna take 4 hours on your stovetop. So I will bring the camera over, show you the skimming process, and when we get there. All right, guys, we just came up to a boil. I went ahead and immediately turned it down to a simmer, and now we're gonna wait for our impurities to start floating up. And when that does, I have a strainer right here. We're just gonna scoop them out, and I'm gonna put them in that bowl right there. But I mean, this is just a waiting game. That's all this is. But once you see your you're boiling, immediately cut the heat to a simmer, and we're not gonna touch anything. It'll naturally do its own thing. So, tidbit, we'll bring you back when the impurities show up. All right, everyone, we're halfway done. I wanted to point out that we've lost about 1/2 inch of water through evaporation. I did not get any impurities that came up, so what we're gonna do at the end of this is I'm gonna take some cheesecloth and run it through a fine mesh strainer, and that will hopefully catch everything else. I wanted to make a mention, you never stir your stock. Once you pour your water in and put it on the stovetop, it stays. You never stir, it just stirs up. All right, everybody, 4 hours is up. So I did want to mention, we don't add garlic to our stocks, our chicken stocks, just because we don't know what we're going to use that stock for. So if we're going to be reducing it to make a sauce or things like that, so that garlic can be overpowering. So we add our garlic when we go ahead and make that sauce or whatever we're going to do. That's the reason I didn't add garlic to this. They taught us that in school, and it's just pretty much stuck. I'm going to put you overhead so you can see. We lost a good inch of liquid through evaporation. And what I'm going to do is I have a ladle here. I'm just going to take it and then just get barely through to fill my ladle. And I have a very fine mesh strainer, which is called a chinois. You can pick these up at a restaurant supply store. I've never seen them at like Walmart. They're made for restaurants, but it's extremely fine mesh. So none of these particles that I'm picking up in the broth or stock is going to affect it. Now I'm gonna bring this ladle up, and you're gonna see right here how rich and dark this color is. This is our brown stock, and this is where our flavor is. If you were gonna do a white stock, you would still have a little bit of brownness, but since we roasted our vegetables and our chicken, that's what gave it that real dark golden brown. So I'm gonna go ahead and ladle this out, and then I'm gonna get prepared to do our canning video, which will come out next week. All right, everyone, we got our stock done and still warm. I drink this when I'm sick or have a cold, flu, but I do add a little bit of stuff to it. I have some lemon juice that I just add just a teeny bit to it. And then I add salt, because we don't add salt when we make stock in case we reduce it. It enhances the flavor, and it can become too salty. So now, I'm using a different kind of salt. This is sea salt, not kosher salt. Both work just fine, but let's give this a taste. Oh yeah. The flavor's spot on. I think I poured a little bit too much lemon juice, but you know, you can always add more. We have a bunch of it. But yeah, this flavor's perfect. So anyway, I'm gonna get into canning it, and that'll come out next week. So y'all have a great week, and I'll see you next time.